Hello, today we are talking about adding and subtracting equations and how to solve them and how to use a picture as well as something called the inverse operation. So let's see. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over some vocabulary. Today's term is very, 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 very important. The term we are using today is called an inverse relationship, and it talks about an inverse operation. An inverse relationship or an inverse operation is an operation that undoes each other. It is also the opposite of a mathematical operation. So if you think about the inverse of addition is subtraction. So if I have 2 plus 3 equals 5, I could do 5 minus 3 to get 2. And the same goes for subtraction, and the same example works. So 5 minus 3 equals 2, so 2 plus 3 would give me 5. The inverse of multiplication and division are each other. So if I have 9 times 6, it equals 54. So if I have 54 divided by 6, it equals 9. And 54 divided by 9 equals 6. Pretty simple, right? Now let's go to our next slide. We're going to work through a few examples today. Weird. The first example we are going to work through is right here. If I have x plus 13 equals 25, it tells me to explain how to get the variable alone. So they show me in this example, I see x plus 13 right here, and I see 25 right here. So what are they doing to both sides? Well, because normally you would add 13 to get it alone, you're going to subtract 13. You have to remember to include from both sides. Let's look at number 2. If they have n minus 30 equals 10, well, I have n minus 30 here and I have 10 right here. When I look at this side, I see that right here they added 30. So what do they have to do to the other side? They have to add 30. So how do you get it? How do you get the variable alone? You add 30 to each side. Now, let's look at number 3. It says solve each equation and check your answer. Show your work. So number 3, they started doing it for you. They've got the g minus 100, which is right here. And they've got 150 right here. So the questions I always ask are 1, what is my variable? Well, my variable is g. What are they doing to the variable? They're subtracting 100. So how do I do the opposite of subtracting 100? I'm going to add 100. So they've got my addition sign, so I'm going to add 100, but I have to do it to both sides. So negative 100 plus 100 subtracts itself out, and 150 plus 100 would give me 250. Over here, I'm going to ask the same question. What's my variable? My variable is y. What are they doing to y? They're adding 56. So how do I do the opposite? I have to subtract 56 from both sides. So I'm going to do y plus 56 minus 56 equals 63 minus 56. When I'm subtracting 63 minus 56, I can count up or I can just subtract. And my answer would be what? My answer would be 7. So y equals 7. Now, let me clear the screen and switch to the page. Here's another example. The Olympic triathlon is about 51 kilometers. A contestant has completed 2 of the 3 legs of the race and has traveled 42 kilometers. Solve 42 plus d equals 51 to find the distance of the third leg. So my equation is 42 plus d equals 51. How do I get the variable isolated? Well, the first thing I need to do, what's my variable? My variable is D. What are they doing to D? They're adding 42. So how do I do the opposite? I have to subtract it. So I'm going to do 42 minus 42 plus D equals 51 minus 42. 42 minus 42 cancels itself out, and I'm left with D on this side. 51 minus 42 would give me 9 right here. So my answer here is D equals 9. Okay, and now we're going to start lesson 2-4. So with this one right here, we're going to talk about how to draw a picture and write an equation. Okay. Shut up! Okay, so today we are combining lesson 2-3 and 2-4 because of the fact that I want to discuss how to draw a picture with our lesson. So our first example is probably the hardest, but we're using an idea of 2 parts make a whole. So I'm going to draw my line diagram right here and draw my line right here. So it says Gina's book has 349 fewer pages than Terry's. If Gina's book has 597 pages, how many pages does Terry's book have? If I am solving this problem, the first thing I know is that I don't know how many pages. But I'm going to put a T for Terry. But I do know that Gina's book has 597 pages, and there's an additional 349 pages to total the amount of pages that Terry's book has. So in this example right here, I'm going to take both my parts, 597 plus 349 equals T. So how would I solve it? To solve it, I would add them. So I would do 597 plus 349. 7 plus 9 would give me 16. 9 plus 1 plus 4 would give me 14. 5 plus 3 plus 1 would give me 9. So my answer, T, equals 946. Let's go to our next problem. Interesting. Right here. So for this one right here, it says Peter played a video game. Before dinner, he collected 24,729 coins. Just a minute. You guys, this is so distracting with you guys. Just saying.
We can go sit in the garage.
Okay, so this problem right here, Peter played a video game. Before dinner, he collected 24,729 gold coins. At the end of the game, he had collected 97,304 gold coins. It says, how many did he collect after dinner? So we know he has 97,304 total coins. So I'm going to put that at the top of my diagram. Now I'm going to draw this diagram right here, and I know that he had 24,729 to begin, and we don't know how many he got after dinner. In this kind of an instance, I'm going to take the total, which is 97,304, equals both of the parts. So my parts are 24,729 plus x. With this problem right here, I'm going to ask the questions, what's my variable? My variable is x. What are they doing to x? They're adding 24,729. So I have to subtract 24,729 from both sides. So I have x right here equals 4 minus 9. I can't do it, so I have to borrow. So it becomes 14. My 0 becomes a 9 because I have to borrow from my 3, which becomes a 2. 14 minus 9 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. 2 minus 7 I can't do, so I have to borrow from my 7, which becomes a 6, and my 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 9 minus 2 is 7. So my answer would be 72,575. One more problem. So with this one right here, it says Save Mart can store 840 cases of dog food or of canned food in the big warehouse. I think dog food because that's what I get. This is 394 cases more than the number that can be displayed on the shelves. How many cases can be displayed? To solve this problem, I've got to draw my mark and my part. So I do know that there's 840 total cases. And I know that 394 is one of the parts. So I'm going to put an F for food for the other one. So with this one right here, I'm going to have 840 equals 394 plus F. Now I've got to isolate my variables. So my three questions. What is my variable? My variable is F. What are they doing to F? They're adding 394. How do I do the opposite? I subtract 394 from both sides. So I have 0 minus 4. Can't do it, so my 0 becomes a 10. My 4 becomes a 3. 10 minus 4 is 6. 3, I can't do 3 minus 9 is 7. I have to borrow my 7. My 8 becomes a 7, and my 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 9 is 4, and 7 minus 3 is 4. So my answer would be 446. Good luck on your homework, and have a great night.